All right, Unapologetic fans, welcome to Unapologetic with Chet and Duffy here on Fans Only Sports Network. Coming to you live today from LaSalle Academy, home of the LaSalle Rams. I'm your host, Chet, and to my right here is my good counterpart, Duffy. Duffy, how are we doing today, my man?
Good, man. How are you? I'm actually your left on the camera.
Yeah, on the camera at least, but in my right.
Yeah, doing pretty good, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be here. It's always nice being at LaSalle, very nice school. Looks like a D2 school, the campus. So
honestly, yeah, in terms of
pretty bougie place.
I even said walking onto here with you guys that it felt like a college campus itself. In all honesty, this is my first time at LaSalle Academy, so it's nice to see this. But for all of you folks who are tuning in, last time you tuned in, we did a broadcast very similar to this, where we were at East Greenwich High School covering the East Greenwich Avengers taking on the Bishop Hendrick and Hawks. Today, the LaSalle Rams are going to be taking on the North Kingstown Skippers, but we'll have all that behind the scenes going as the game comes on. The game starts at 6:30, so we'll start off the day talking about the NBA, because last night, the Eastern Conference Finals Game 1 happened, and the Celtics were solemnly defeated by the Miami Heat. So, Duffy, I'll let you get us started on some of that, because that was a tough game to watch. I tuned in around the fourth quarter, and they were down by 10, 12 several times. It just kept fluctuating. They could just never get back in after Jimmy Butler dropped 22 points in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was a crazy third quarter for the Heat. Outscored the Celtics 39-14 in the period. So the Celtics team, they were up 8 at halftime. They had a really good first half, hitting a bunch of threes. Peyton Pritchard especially, I think he hit like 3 or 4 threes in that first half. But it was a good game for the Celtics at first. But on the road against Miami, that team is so good. They're so deep, very talented. And, it would have been a huge win to get Game 1 on the road, secure that home court advantage, and steal it away back from the Heat. But
absolutely,
Celtics, they really choked in that third quarter. That's what cost them the game, like you said.
Yeah, and I mean, the tone setter for the Celtics in Game 1, we hadn't seen since they played the Brooklyn Nets back in like early May at this point, April even. Easter weekend. And Game 1 against the Milwaukee Bucks, they did drop. And I don't know. My brother, he was a little upset talking to him about it. I'm like, Matt, think about it. Miami's had a few extra days off of rest. Boston literally just won their series last Sunday in Game 7. So they're going to make these adjustments going into Game 2, I feel. I feel like it's too early to really obviously give the series away, but last night was a huge tone setter for the Heat.
Yeah, no, it was. And like you said, the Celtics have struggled in Game 1s the last 2 series. Almost lost it against Brooklyn, and they lost to Milwaukee in the next round. And it's another example of a slow start to a series. And, they had a really nice start for us, like I said, but I think your words to your brother are accurate. Nothing to be too worried about. I mean, the Celtics team that's fought back and really no business beating Milwaukee after losing a couple games at home, went on the road and won games. It's a team that, unlike in recent Celtics years in the playoffs, has been capable of winning road playoff games. And this is the most highly caliber team in that regard that the Celtics have had in recent memory.
Mm-hmm.
And also with the Celtics, I mean, they were missing their 2 best players, not 2 best players, 2 of their best players last night in Marcus Smart and Al Horford. Both ruled out about 2 hours before the game with health-related issues, which is kind of sus.
Which is weird, too, because I heard Al Horford, they said, was for COVID protocols, which, one, it's definitely the NBA that's behind these protocols, but then, 2, it's like it's in Florida. Why does it matter? They don't care at all what happens with COVID.
Yeah, they never have. And it's weird, too, because they flew right from Boston to Miami, like, right after they won the other day. So, it's just weird, man. It was sketchy a little bit, and I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at the rest of the series, obviously, Miami Heat, they're one of the deepest depth teams in the league at this point. Yeah, well, they have some of the deepest depth. They really do. I mean, in terms of their bench players and their starters. And looking towards this series, we could have ourselves another, say, 7-game series on our hands.
I'll see about that on my way here. This could be a 7-game series for sure. Because Miami, they've got the best of Boston the last couple of regular seasons.
Absolutely.
Beat us in the postseason in 2020 in the bubble. So I think with the Celtics, I mean, this is a team they got to show that they can win games on the road in the playoffs. I mean, you can't try every game on the road. Miami could definitely steal one in Boston.
Yeah.
So it's a team that went up 3-1 against the Celtics 2 years ago. Celtics almost got gentlemen swept in 5 games, and with the way they looked in the second half last night, I mean, if Miami plays like that all series, which I don't think they will, it might be the same result. But Boston just came it close, getting Horford and Smart back in the upcoming days. Hopefully for tomorrow's game too, and it'll be a way better game, I think, with Celtics. With that deeper depth. Like
exactly. So obviously game 2 tomorrow, and then after games 3 and 4 will be played in Boston. But looking at the next series that's coming up, obviously, we didn't get to talk about that, but we picked Phoenix to go to the Western Conference Finals, and the Dallas Mavericks stunned everybody by blowing them out in Game 7. They take on the Golden State Warriors tonight for Game 1.
I mean, that was the biggest game of Luka's career. Winning that Game 7.
Honestly.
He lost, Game 7 of last year against the LA Clippers, the Mavericks, and now on the road in Phoenix. Best team in the West, best team in the league by 8 games this year, if you're going by winning.
Yes.
If you're going by how many games they won.
Mm-hmm.
And, they beat them by 40 plus points. I think it was 39 in the final, but maybe even more than that. I'm not quite sure it was the number, but Luka Magic, maybe at 27 points in the first half, scored as many as the Phoenix Suns did in the first 24 minutes, and it was just crazy. It was just crazy seeing that game, seeing the Suns just lose by that much. Probably the most embarrassing loss in recent memory, in my opinion, in the NBA.
Honestly, yeah, especially when the odds are stacked for you in your favor.
I mean, being at home with all the energy in the crowd, and they say NBA home court advantage is arguably the most effective when it comes to the playoffs of these 4 professional leagues.
Oh, for sure. And
Suns just sucked. They flat out sucked. They stunk. And on the other side, the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals as well, playing against the Mavericks, 1-6 against the Memphis Grizzlies. And, they're definitely the favorites to win this series. Starting at home tonight, let's see if they can be like the Heat were last time, start off with a home victory. Because it should be a good game. It should be a good series. And I think it could go to 7 if Luka just keeps on doing what he's doing for the Mavericks, just carrying them night in, night out, averaging 32, 10, and 7 in the playoffs right now. Disgusting numbers.
That's something crazy to think about right there. I mean, looking at the way both teams have been set up, I mean, my brother was saying this last night. He's like, the NBA just really wants to push for a Heat Golden State Warriors finals. I mean,
I think I'd rather a Golden State Warriors Celtics finals.
That would be an amazing finals right there. That's what I'm saying. It's just my brother can be a little negative. I can be a little negative when it comes to my hometown team. But at the end of the day, I still feel like Golden State does have pretty strong odds to take the series well from the Dallas Mavericks. I do think with what the Mavericks have brought to the table this year is going to be competitive in this postseason. But I think Golden State just has too much stacked against them.
I mean, you think Golden State has too much chance against them or for them?
Well, for them, I guess. I meant against them as in the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
Should have made that a little more clear.
Warriors have a better roster from head to toe, by a lot actually. They have a way better roster. And, we saw it across the whole Mavericks-Suns series where if Luka didn't play well, the team wasn't going to win games. But, I don't really know who in the Warriors is going to stop Luka Doncic from doing this thing. Maybe it'll be Draymond Green, maybe it'll be a little bit of Klay Thompson. At the end of the day, I think this is going to go to at least 6 games, and I think Golden State is going to go to the NBA Finals. We're going to see a Warriors-Celtics Finals. You can mark my words on that.
That'd be a sight to see there.
I think by next week when we do this podcast, these series will still be going on because they're going to be going to 6-7 games, these series, both of them.
Absolutely. So that concludes our coverage there of the NBA postseason. Moving quickly into the MLB, and quickly as in we don't have much time before this game starts, to kind of look at the Boston Red Sox. Last night, a total debacle for the team as they fell to the Houston Astros by a final score of 13-4, I believe. That was the final. I was actually at the game on Monday.
Yeah, you were at the rained out game.
Yes, so I was at that game, and the score was 2-2 going into the bottom of the 6th inning, and then the whole game got rained out, and they were in rain delay for an hour and 45 minutes. I had to walk 50 minutes across Boston to get to the train station because a 20-minute Uber drive would have cost us $43. Tell me how that makes sense in any way.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. So, hey, screw it. We'll walk.
But do you get to go the rest of the game when it gets postponed in the future, or the rest of it's played out?
I don't know how that works, honestly. But regardless, I had a great time being there. But for Boston Red Sox fans, this is just not really a good time to be happy for this baseball team. You look at the way they've been playing. Sure, they win a series against the Texas Rangers, but that's the first series they've won in months against any team. And right now, game's live as Nick Pivetta takes on Luis Garcia, I believe, for the Houston Astros. So we'll see what happens with this team. But the way they've been playing, it's the same problems as before, and it's probably going to get repetitive after a while to the point where I won't even want to talk about the Boston Red Sox. Inconsistent pitching, inconsistent batting. Trevor Story, actually, it's kind of funny. He hit his first home run in Fenway after we had already left the stadium.
Really, you missed it?
We missed it, and we called it that this would be his first game.
So what inning did you leave in?
We left in the bottom of the sixth. That's when it started to rain.
Did the rest of the game get played in?
It did. The Red Sox won 6-3.
Oh, okay.
Backed off a Trevor Story solo shot and then a 2-run shot from Xander Bogaerts.
You actually stayed maybe a little bit cheaper.
Potentially.
Yeah, this team's really struggling, losing a lot of games. 14-22 on the year. Pitching needs a lot of help. And this bang up, definitely not living up to the potential they had last year. But this team used to rake home runs, and now they're going to see him squad in recent memory.
Absolutely. So Boston Red Sox really trickling downhill at this point. The only thing the team can look forward to at the end of the season, not even look forward to, they're probably going to look to actually selling major pieces of the team. And in this case, it's probably going to come from Xander Bogaerts and Rafael Devers.
Yeah, a little rebuild for this Red Sox team. How's their minor league system looking? How's the farm league doing? We have good prospects?
I wouldn't say so.
No?
It's nothing to write home about yet. So they got to start somewhere. And at this point, the team doesn't want to pay the guys who actually bat well. And, I mean, the record really speaks for itself. Last year, we thought they were going to be terrible. They ended up winning the AL East, and now this year they're at the bottom of the standings. And now the opposite has happened. New York Yankees were supposed to be the runaway favorites last year. They're at the top of the standings this year. Best record in the MLB.
Yeah, that's just baseball, man, Just is. Some teams just heat up. We're only about a fifth of the way into the year, but if it gives any indication on what to expect the rest of it, then Yankees might actually up to the hype this year. Haven't won a championship. They've only won 2 championships in my lifetime.
Yes.
Or 1, actually.
1 probably.
1.
I mean, maybe.
I was born like a month after that.
Yeah.
That 2000 one. This team just. That's why the MLB is a bogus league because New York Yankees rake like $1 billion off the Yes Network every year, and they can just spend that on a bunch of players. They're like small teams like the Oakland A's who have like 8 people in attendance every game, just can't do that. It's just there's no salary cap is what I'm saying. I see this league as bogus. I'm trying to boycott it in the next few months. Get back on strike for the boys.
Oh my God.
Bogus.
So
the Yankees have only won 1 championship in my life.
Hey,
4 in your life or 5.
Something like that, but I was too little to know. So for me, it's just 1.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna go into a brief 5-minute commercial break before the start of this one between once again the Salle Rams and the North Kingstown Skippers. If you want to check out more Fans Only Sports Network's live games, go to www.fansonlysports.com. Sports with a Z at the end.
W in there.
Whatever. To get your season passes today, that will be for either high school or college club sports. College club sports have concluded, but if you want to check out any of high school spring sports playoffs, go to that URL link right at the bottom. Season passes start at $16 per month. And this will carry over going into the fall and winter season when we get football back. Hopefully we can still be here to call that. But in time, we'll be right back. So you can check out more behind-the-scenes coverage here at Fans Only Sports Network as once again we cover the LaSalle Rams taking on the North Kingstown Skippers. We'll be back in just a moment.
Got it! An arrow shot to the celly.
Gets taken down on the play, no call made. Pops out to the blue line. Picked up here by Giuliano. Giuliano gets fluttered out of the play. Oh, and a backhanded shot and a score by number 11, Colin Roll.
Working around the end board, down deflecting off the side that only gets as far as the blue line. Fire back in! Right up the play. Now again, another shot by Hogan. He fires one, heading off the ice. A big hit down in the corner there between Barrett and it scores! Right off the hit. McKinney scores! CJ LeClaire ties it! His shot saved by Trotter. Wrap around, shot, score! Chances with the puck for a second, fires, it goes right inside, right in front of it, he scores! On the power play, Josie hits the back star who has lost his stick. In the process, they fire and it's hang on to your hat, folks. It's 3-2 with 1 second.
And it's picked up again here and fired in by Moretti. The Hendrickson offensive. Oh, deep blue line. Wicked Wester.
He makes the save, and it comes back out for DeSano. DeSano works through, and he has it into the goal. A backcourt Dempsey 2. And
Kenzie McKenzie fires one on save by Carr. 24 seconds remaining in the man advantage. 5:10 remaining in the blue. There's a shot and a score. Short-handed by Ollie.
Try harder.
Yeah, trying to get back to this. What was that shit, dude?
Oh.
They've got it! An arrow shot to the celly.
Gets taken down on the play. No call made. Pops out to the blue line. Picked up here by Giuliano. Giuliano gets fluttered out of the play. Oh, and a backhanded shot and a score by number 11, Colin Roll.
Working around the end board, down deflecting off the side that only gets as far as the blue line. Fire back in! Right up the play. Now again, another shot by Hogan. He fires one, heading off the ice. A big hit down in the corner there between Barrett and it scores! Right off the hit. McKinney scores! CJ LeClaire ties it!
Sports Network's live coverage today of Division I high school boys lacrosse in the state of Rhode Island. Tonight's matchup between the LaSalle Rams and the North Kingstown Skippers here at LaSalle Academy in Providence, Rhode Island. I am your play-by-play commentator, Chris Hetu, alongside Tim Duffy, my analyst here inside the booth today. The dynamic duo taking it on again for LaSalle Academy. Tim, how are we doing today?
How are you doing? Doing pretty good. We have a really good game in our hands right here. It's always nice being on LaSalle Academy, seeing some really elite hockey, lacrosse.
Senior night's going to be
Yeah, senior night too. At halftime tonight, it's going to be a really good showcase for the Rams and the Skippers. But I saw a Skipper team against Bishop Hendrickson last week, 9-8. A very talented Salle Rams squad.
Absolutely. Now let's take a look at the stat matchup here today between both sides on the ticker so far. But before we do that, we're going to take a moment to remember America for the start of our national anthem.
Gets taken down on the play, no call made. Pops out to the blue line. Picked up here by Giuliano. Giuliano gets flustered out of the play. Oh, and a backhanded shot and a score by number 11, Colin Wall.
Working around the end board, now deflecting off the side that only gets as far as the blue line. Fire back in! Right up the play. Now again, another shot by Hogan. He fires one, heading off the ice. A big hit down in the corner there between Barrett and it scores!
That was a great homage to America right there.
As always. So back into the stat matchup, when you take a look at the goals for and goals against, 235 goals for LaSalle on the season, as opposed to North Kingstown boasting 82 on the year, 107 goals allowed by LaSalle, and then 56 by the North Kingstown Skippers. So the Skippers are going to have their work cut out for them today.
Yeah, and obviously the Rams team has played many more games. Also part of the goal differential, but this Rams team, they routinely hang up 20 goals in some games, and they have a lot of talented players, such as Dylan Johnson, who Noah Rosa, good player, Anthony DeCenzo. A lot of these goal scorers on this team scored by a few different guys, and very, very deep squad. But North Kingstown, can't sell them short. 82 goals in 8 games. That's 7 games actually. That's pretty impressive in itself. So see if they can hang some up early today against the Rams.
They're going to have to, because the Rams are obviously known in the state of Rhode Island as one of the best, if not the best, lacrosse squad in the state. So the Skippers, they're going to have a lot of work to do today to keep up with them and keep up the pace. So both teams approach midfield now.
Think they're chirping each other yet?
Probably not just yet. We'll probably get that more during playtime.
What would you say if you were down there right now?
I don't know. Probably something I shouldn't say.
Remember, the goalie for LaSalle is AI, not Ayuk.
AI, I got you.
You said Ayuk.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see.
Brand Ayuk.
All right?
Yeah.
Got it. Here we go.
So in net tonight for the Skippers is Aiden Zarella. And in net tonight for LaSalle Academy is number 36, Maximum Ayat.
Gotta give Aiden Zarella a lot of credit. Saw him play the other week, and Smith Pennick took a huge shot against that team, was in a concussion protocol. Back on the field tonight. See if he can have a good game like he did that night. Very underrated and pretty good goalie.
Noah Rosa takes the ball for the Rams, as DeCenzo is the one to win on the Fogo. This one taken down by Samuel Yan. Yan trying to push towards net as the ball's poked free by North Kingston, and now they'll take the ball away. On the sideline, that's taken in by Jacob Silversmith. Silversmith pushing towards midfield. He'll cross that midfield line and set up the Skippers. Still going with the ball before he dumps it back towards midfield over to number 3. Number 5 there. That's Cole Mancini.
Yeah, it's tough doing these. Trying to get these jersey numbers with this NK squad. Me and Ron were doing a couple weeks ago. Struggled a little bit, but get the hang of it after a while.
This one dumped over behind the net to number 24, Jacob Jolie. Jolie giving it back up to Ty Shapiro. Now Shapiro this time went up to Ethan Ringler. Charging downfield is Mancini. Mancini finds the back of the net, and the Skippers are first on the board.
Well, Mancini saw him have a couple goals in that game I was just mentioning. He's a very talented player, creates his own shot very well, and a good setup there for him to get the first goal of the game. And that was just a beauty. A snipe right there from Mancini.
An absolute snipe, and the North Kingstown Skippers now find themselves up by a score of 1-0 on the road here at LaSalle Academy. On the Fogo, DeCenzo traps the ball forward, and he'll take it up himself, a swim move around the defender. He backs off a bit, trying to let his offense get set. He'll find Noah Rosa. Rosa, he dumps it off to number 22, Colby Fragone. Fragone throws it to the big body Dylan Johnson. Johnson pushing close towards the net, and he finds it on the bottom shelf, tying up the game quickly in just under 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's one shot apiece for each team and one goal apiece. And, you see Freegon always trying to set up his teammates. Another great chance there to Dylan Johnson on the run, getting an open shot. And, we know him. He's a laser of a shooter. And prime example right there. Give him that Wendy's 4 for 4.
He's got a nose for the net indeed. And once again on the face-off, DeCenzo wins it. And he dumps it over to that's Thomas Cato. Cato retreats back. And now he'll push up himself before his extra man can get on, and he finds the back of the net for the Rams. And the Rams answer back quickly, adding 2 goals to the day.
Thomas Cato just charged him. That's another possession set up, by the way, on the face-off by DeCenzo. He's so good at those face-offs. That's why he's going to play at Richmond next year, D1 lacrosse, and setting that possession up. And Thomas Cato, they call him the philosopher, getting the goal.
3 for 3 on face-offs. We'll see if he can make it 4 for 4. Great trap, but it's going to end up being taken away from the Fogo player, but DeCenzo pokes it out himself. DeCenzo trying to go coast to coast, but his ball's poked free by the Skippers D. And this one rolling towards the sideline, popped out of the net, nearly kept in bounds. But they'll call the play dead, so the Skippers come away with it after a hard-fought battle. And now Daniel McKay losing the ball at midfield. He'll scoop it back up in his stick. Flag thrown, a free play coming for the Skippers. A hard charge towards the net, and a great save by Ayotte. And now whistle to stop the play. That was Ty Shapiro charging towards net.
That was a great play. Great pass from McKay. Finding Shapiro on the run and see what the flag is for. Thanks, Chet. I didn't have the shot.
It's okay. I just noticed it.
I want to mess up this stat sheet.
Back in action. Back to Shapiro. Shapiro. And dumped off there. And they'll still volley it around. Finding a man, and the Kingstown Skippers once again off the back of Adam Pelletier. It was a great volley into the slot. Now they tie the game up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, Pelletier's a good player. Scored 2 goals against Hendrick in the game we saw, and that's number 2 getting his first of the game today.
$5 Sal.
Yes, Sal taking a timeout early. I mean, getting outshot 4-2 right now. Tie game against the Skippers at home.
So the timeout called. We'll take a timeout here on Fans Only Sports Network. You're watching our coverage once again of the Salle Rams and the North Kingstown Skippers. We'll be right back in just a moment. Tie game at 2-2.
2-2?
Yeah. 2-2 early in this one. This is something we weren't expecting here at Fans Only Sports Network, honestly, to start the day, because LaSalle in every game we've seen has been just quite dominant, but this timeout early is pretty critical, wouldn't you say so, Duffy?
Really timeout, pretty critical. Definitely.
Matt Jolis in the background here on Unapologetic.
Gotta be like all those crazy fans that you see, like, on the live, the game day lives. They're like,
Caught me off guard right there, Matt.
He did. But yeah, so I mean,
I love your show, man. I love your show.
We love the support from the fans. Back in the action now. We're gonna cut back into the broadcast.
All right.
Yeah, man, that was funny, though. I'll take that.
That was pretty funny.
So the Fogo resumes at midfield, and DeCenzo comes away with it. And he dumps it down to Thomas Cato. His shot goes wide over the top of the net and out of play. But the ball will be picked up here by Garrett Clare and thrown all the way back up to Colby Fragone. Fragone moves behind the defense. The goaltender came out to expose the net, and Garrett Clare puts up the Rams' 3rd goal of the afternoon.
It's 2 assists now for Freegon. Like I said, always setting up his teammates. That's 2 assists in the first 3 goals for the Rams. And they may look easy right there. Wide open shot in front of the net. And that's just how the Rams are going to take this lead. Hopefully they can keep it for their sakes and purposes.
DeCenzo, he takes the face off once again.
As he usually does.
And he'll throw it to the far side, near side, I should say, to Brady Fisher. Fisher dumps it off to Dylan Johnson. Flag coming, and it looks like it'll be against the Skippers. So a free play for the Rams. Johnson, he'll opt to throw it back to Fragone. Fakes the windup, but he'll shoot it this time, and he adds on his second of the day. Rams now up 4-2. And Colby Fragone really turning on the Jets.
Yeah, Fragone really putting himself in that discussion for player of the game right now. 1 goal, 2 assists. And 6 goals in the first 3:35 of this one. This has been a crazy game so far.
It's been a very interesting first quarter, to say the least.
A lot of offense in this one.
A lot of offense. The defense really sleeping right now, but North Kingstown, they did manage to tie the game before that timeout. I don't know if the Salle Rams made adjustments on the sidelines, what they did specifically, but it's working so far. So this one almost looked like a long snap as it's taken away here by Thomas Cato. And he'll throw it to Dylan Johnson, who already has a goal in the outing. Johnson over to Garrett Clare. And this one back to Johnson. And going behind the net, going over to Fragone. Fragone fakes the windup. He'll back off, giving it back to Clare. Clare to Johnson. Johnson down to Cato. Cato being poked back a bunch. And this one goes through the wickets of Johnson. He's going to have to retreat back to midfield. And that's going to be an infraction as Clare came across that midfield line. So the Skippers have it now as Ty Shapiro holds it for the Skippers.
Big break for the Skippers. Haven't had a possession in a while. Not getting any of these faceoffs. And turnover from the Rams sets him up. Ooh.
And a missed pass that was intended for Liam Waldron. And that goes out of bounds. So the Rams take away the possession.
That's just how they lose it. It's a bad pass right there. Right when they get some offense going for the first time in a couple of minutes.
Luca Farteau dumped it all the way downfield to Dylan Johnson, and Johnson feeds it over to Matt Hayes. Behind the net, Noah Rosa. Rosa coming back up and throws it to the sideline to the man coming on the field. That's Nolan Johnson, who gives it to Colby Fragone at the top shelf. Fragone down to Dylan Johnson. Johnson trots back slowly and now trots forward. Jukes gets around 1, trying to get around 2. He tries to find the net, and it doesn't roll in. It did.
Wow.
I don't know how he did that, but he snuck it right between the threads of the net and just bounced in.
I thought that bounced off the side of the net, but next thing I saw, it was right across the plane. So
I don't think anybody on that field knew it was a goal until they started celebrating, really.
I certainly didn't.
So now the Rams up 5-2 off Dylan Johnson's second goal of the outing. And on the faceoff to Senzo, he's going to just charge right upfield and feed it down to Rosa. Noah Rosa scrambles towards behind the net as he gives it off to number 4. That's Matt Hayes. Hayes feeding it right into the slot. That was a perfect position for Brady Fisher to push into. A missed pass over to Rosa. Does get it at the sidelines in time. This one thrown all the way back up to Thomas Cato. Cato using that speed to wind up. His shot going to be wide and out of play. So now Garrett Clare will take it up for LaSalle. Clare elects to swim the other way. Underhands hit! And Garrett Clare gets goal number 2 for himself and gives the LaSalle Rams their 6th goal of the game so far, 4 unanswered.
Yeah, like you said, shuffling. That was a spin move, a little pivot step, no travel on the play. And just a snipe from Garrett Clare. He's having himself an excellent first half of the first quarter. 6 goals in 6 minutes for the Rams. They're on pace for what, 48 goals right now?
They could be if they keep this pace up. DeCenzo immediately from the faceoff. He'll pump fake. Continues to drive through, trying to go coast to coast, but that one bounced off the turf. It still remains Rams ball. And now taking it up here is Matt Hayes. Hayes swimming around the defense. The ball pops free. It's rolling back upfield. Skippers all over it, but Dylan Johnson comes up with it for LaSalle. A good thread over to Rosa. Rosa jukes inside. He's got 2 defenders all over him trying to pop the ball loose. Pump fakes, and he'll give it back to Dylan. Dylan Johnson this time over to Ben Riccitelli. Ben Riccitelli off the turf. That pass was intended for Claire, and it rolls to the sidelines out of bounds, and that will be North Kingstown ball.
You get to see Mr. Riccitelli play last time I was here against BC High.
I didn't either.
Connor Barrett was saying he's a big locker room guy. Now on the turf, now he's I thought he was coming off for a sec, but we're going to see him on the pitch, number 15.
So this will go back to LaSalle. And the throw up field that was intended for Riccitelli stays on the turf. He'll still take it upfield. Tries to spin back the other way. He threads the needle to Tom Cato. Cato charges. He tries coast to coast, and he'll miss that one over the top. The Rams will try again from the backstop. Hayes has it. Hayes into the slot. He missed his mark there for Andrew Bradley. Now this one being shepherded upfield by John Randall for North Kingstown.
Is that a shot there or no?
I can't. I honestly don't.
What a stick
What a
check.
shoot.
Number 20.
What a play from Sean Rodenhorst right there. The freshman knocking the ball out of Gately's hands. Gately's stick right there. That was big hit on the far sideline. I don't know if do you see it yet?
I couldn't just because of this wall here. It was tough for me to see, but it just goes back to the discipline that these Rams show time and time again in lacrosse. Just a very well-coached team, well-organized. They know what they need to do to get this ball back. So now taking it up, Fragone. Fragone dumps it over to Hayes right in front, and a great save from Zorella in net for the Skippers. Zorella, he'll throw this up to number 6, Ty Shapiro. Shapiro, he's tripped up and falls to the turf. No flag. And he'll elect to throw this one off. And it missing his mark there, but a whistle called. As that was intended for Liam Waldron. And timeout called. So we'll take a timeout, and we'll be right back. Score 6-2 as the Rams lead the Skippers. So we will be live on Unapologetic for the next 3 minutes and 35 seconds of this one. Hopefully, just like last time, you're getting a little bit of the inside look of what it's like to run a broadcast. Kind of, well, not really just run one, but be a part of it. The setup today, Ron Robert on camera, our computer and our soundboard powering our headsets today. It's like cramming sardines, really. Sardines in a can.
So I use the line.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess it's kind of weird thing to say. But...
Well, I mean, at least in this booth. Come on. What do you mean?
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
weird thing to say?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
so that's the best you can do. And as you move, it's going to be.
Yeah. Depends usually what school we go to. Sometimes we go to schools and there is no press box, which is something to work with and something that's interesting. All right, you can cut us back in. And after the commercial break, Skippers hold possession of the ball downfield. This one dumped back up over towards, excuse me, that's number, looking for that number.
9, Lefebvre.
Lefebvre had it, and he'll get it back again.
Or Gately, excuse me. Connell Gately, number 9.
This one thrown upfield to Cole Mancini. And now Gately pushing closer towards the net. He has to spin back around and retreat. Now cut back. Really dancing around a whole lot before he throws it downfield. This one given off to Jacob Jolie. Jolie, tried to find it, but Ayotte was right there waiting for it.
Hit the post.
as it hit the post. And now Brady Fisher, this one rolling across the turf. It hasn't rolled out of bounds yet. And somehow, great speed by Fisher to catch up to it. And he gives it off this time to Noah Rosa, who takes it behind the net, close to the side, well, close to the out-of-bounds mark. Rosa spins, trying to expose himself in front of the goaltender. Oh, and Fisher was right there to make the play. It just wasn't threaded cleanly.
He's going to regret that one. I mean, that was a surefire goal. And this Rams team, they haven't scored in about 4 minutes, and it seems like a long time with the way they've been scoring in this first quarter.
Daniel McKay takes it across midfield, flag thrown. So a free play coming for the Skippers as it will be against LaSalle. And the ball, John Randall, who then dumps it off to Ethan Ringler. Ringler over to Jolie. Jacob Jolie. He'll cut back towards midfield and then feed it off to John Randall. Randall on the far side over to Gately, and a whistle finally called to call the play dead with 1 minute and 40 remaining here in the first quarter.
It's 1 minute. I think it was with that stick check. Slashing early in the possession. So it's Noah Rosa, number 5.
1 minute.
So a 1 minute penalty. That'll run down to the last 40 seconds against LaSalle. Winding up for the shot as Mancini put a little too much on that one. It goes out of bounds. And now Liam Waldron to take it out for the Skippers. He feeds Adam Pelletier. Throws it back upfield, and Pelletier will get it back once again. This one winding up from Mancini. Continuing to move the ball around. Waldron gives it back to Gately, back to Waldron. Waldron feeding a man in the slot. An absolute laser from Cole Mancini. And that makes the score now 6-3.
What a beautiful setup there. Mancini cutting inside, catching that ball, and just rifling it in the bottom left shelf.
So with the extra man advantage, the Skippers find themselves within 3.
Might have been the prettiest goal we've seen today.
Might have been, honestly. There's been some quite interesting goals scored in tonight's game.
9 already in the first. It's got 10:46 in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. This one fielded by Johnson at midfield after DeCenzo wins the Fogo. Johnson throws it back behind him over to Colby Fragone. Fragone jukes hard into the middle and gets it over Zorella's net. And that's his second or third of the night. He might have the Hattie.
It's the first quarter Hattie, and he's got. Wait, no, I'm thinking of Claire. That's Fragone's second.
Yes, that's his second.
But that was just a beauty right there.
Yeah, that was nice.
Colby Fragone. And just a good way to end the scoring drought for the Rams.
Already a trio of players on this Rams squad that have potential to get a hat trick tonight. Now back at the Fogo spot. DeCenzo forcing his hand again. He gets the ball, and he's just going to charge right away upfield. And now Anthony DeCenzo gets in on the fun. Goal number 8 for LaSalle.
And that was fun, Shabby. He went right from the face-off all the way to the rack. And what a snipe. Yeah, that's really where Mama hides the cookies was right there.
For certain. I mean, we've seen DeCenzo do this time and time again, just taking it from the Fogo spot and just takes it coast to coast. It's just, he's a talented athlete, and we're seeing it for show here.
He already has like 3 reels on the FOS and Instagram.
Yep, and he'll continue to rack those reels up on here.
You called at least one of them.
Yep, he broke a man's ankles in that one.
That juke from
Yeah.
DeCenzo giving it off to Ben Riccitelli. Riccitelli giving it back upfield to Fragone. Fragone spins, and he'll cut back upfield. Trying to look for that opening. He continues to push closer towards the net. 2 Skippers, defenders all over him, but it doesn't matter. He still finds the way to thread it through for the Hattie.
That's unbelievable. I mean, like you said, 2 Skippers, defenders right on him.
Didn't matter.
Didn't even matter. Didn't care. Just got up there, got big on him, and just fires it in right at the bottom of the net. That was beauty right there from Colby Fragone.
DeCenzo winning the Fogo once again. He'll throw it up this time to Tom Cato. Cato, the ball popped free as the Skippers defense was all over it. Ball rolling across the turf. And that will do it from the first quarter of action. Score 9-3 as the Rams currently lead by 6 over the North Kingstown Skippers. We'll be right back for the start of the second quarter.
6 o'clock's about to be running soon.
All right, guys, that does it for Unapologetic with Chet and Duffy. Our live coverage today of the LaSalle Rams and the North Kingstown Skippers. If you want to tune into more behind the scenes of our broadcast, just let us know in the comments section below. And if you want to check out Fans Only Sports Network's monthly passes for any high school spring sports games, especially since playoffs are approaching, go to www.fansonlysports.com, sports with a Z at the end, to get your season passes today. Season passes start at $16 per month. This is Chet and Duffy signing off, and we will catch you all on the next broadcast. And as always, go Pats.
Go Pats, baby.
Peace.